wasted in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing.
Hello my friends, welcome to another week, another nice autumnal week. I am hoping that we can go out to a nature area this week. I mentioned this at the end of last week's video, and the one we knew we wanted to go to apparently closes for September and October because it's a vital time for like plant growth or something, which is great for the plants but like sucks for the people because that would be the best time to go there. So that's annoying, but okay. So we're gonna try to find a different place to go. There's lots of different options. It's just I know that place is beautiful and now I have to find a different place. So we're gonna be getting up to that this week. This is also my oldest's birthday week. So today is her birthday party and then in a couple of days is her actual birthday. So we're doing some like birthday stuff all week. This morning I went and picked up a couple birthday-ish things for her and got distracted by the fall decor. I bought these pumpkins from Dollarama. Oh, why are we not focusing? These pumpkins. I wish I could show them to you like in person because they're quite heavy. I actually think that they're made from like cement and then painted. So I was thinking these would make like really good like bookends because they're decently heavy. And I have a lot of books that my cat is always trying to push off of my bookshelf. And so I'm gonna be doing that and pulling out my other fall decor. Other than Christmas, fall is the only season I really decorate for, and I kind of forgot about it. And tomorrow's October 1st. I should have done this a month ago, but oh well. So I need to pull out my fall decor. And then are these pumpkins acceptable to be out all year round, or does it have to be only an autumnal thing? That's my question. They're not overly autumnal in color. This is a dark yellow. I'm not sure if that, yeah, it kind of comes across, and then like a white cream color. They're probably just autumnal, but I like them and I like how heavy they are. So I need to look for other things to be bookends for other seasons as well. And also the Christmas decorations were already out, so that's crazy. Today is technically a holiday in Canada. It's Truth and Reconciliation Day, which is a remembrance for residential school thing that happened here in Canada. So when white people, specifically it was like Catholics I think, that they came and settled and they forced like all the indigenous people, all the kids into these residential schools, and there was a lot of atrocious things that happened. So a couple of years ago now they made this into a holiday, day of remembrance and stuff, day off, which is nice to have. I feel like we have more of these in Canada than the Americans do. Pretty much once a month we have a holiday, and some of them don't even make any sense. They're just days off. I'm not going to complain though. My reading plans for the week are a little bit all over the place. Every week for like the last couple of months I've been filming a short over on my book channel sharing what I plan on reading that week, and I filmed that yesterday afternoon and I've already finished 2 of those books. So I'm going to be trying to read some like spooky stuff. I started a book. It's called The Killer's Therapist. I heard about this in my Patreon book club on the weekend and it sounded very interesting. It sounded very like creepy, great September, October read. So I started that and it's going well. It's not as creepy as I was thinking it was going to be yet, but it's going well. And then I'm reading The Nightmare Virus, or listening to that. That's my audiobook. I started this one in like July and got stuck at 16%. I'm a little farther now, so hopefully I can actually finish it. I'm trying to listen while I'm doing other things. Not loving it, unfortunately. And we will see what else I get up to reading this week. That all being said, I have been feeling very creative lately. I've, share different creative things in my different videos. But this weekend I felt very creative in the writing side of life, and I'm contemplating entering or like sending in some things for different anthologies coming up. So there's this publisher called 20 Hills Publishing. I think that's what it actually is, 20 Hills something or other. And they do a couple different themed anthologies. And I was looking at those on the weekend and thinking, maybe I should do something like that. I definitely want to do more writing in this next year. And so my goal for October is, it's like a threefold goal. 1, I want to write 10,000 words. 2, I want to write, oh, what did I wrote this down somewhere. Did I just have it in my head? I think I want to write 10 poems and 1 short story. So like that's within my 10,000 words. Of my 10,000 words, I want it to be 1 short story and 10 poems and like 10 completed poems. So I'm gonna be working on that. I have no idea if that's a good goal or not. Like, I've never paid attention to word count. I've mostly written poetry. I do have a goal to write a nonfiction book at some point as well. I've told a couple people about it, and I've described it as like essays on God's faithfulness, potentially with some poetry interspersed between the essays as well, because I like poetry. And it's always been in the back of my mind goal that, like, I wrote some stuff for this book like 10 years ago already. It's always been the back of my mind goal that I wanted that out by the time I was 40, which is about 1.5 years from now. So like a person should, start working on it. So creative pursuits. I'm going to film my September wrap up now. Welcome to the week. Let's go on some adventures and do some creating together.
Full stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I own. Yeah, I'd give it all up now just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found. You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest.
Every week my quote seems heavy in one letter.
August, and I've come out here to say that I love you.
Good morning. Welcome to a fairly overcast, actually it's completely overcast, morning with rain on and off. Not sure if soccer is going to be happening today. This is supposed to be the last day of homeschool soccer for this session, but there's potential thunderstorms during the time that there's supposed to be soccer, so not sure if I'm gonna go out to Leduc this week or not, but because it is cold, I am going to make bread this morning. I'll show you the kind that I use for gluten-free bread. I miss baking gluten bread so very much, but Jared is so sensitive to cross-contamination that we don't have any gluten in our home. But every time I make bread, I'm just like, oh, I wish I could be making gluten bread. I had so much fun with it, so many different kinds. Oh well. So I'm gonna make gluten-free bread. I'm gonna do 2 boxes, 2 different loaves. I'm gonna do a regular one, and then I'm gonna add some cheese and Italian seasoning to one. We will use that for lunch with some pasta, and I have some of the Pioneer Woman pasta sauce in the freezer. I think I shared that in a video a couple weeks ago. I think when I was making my letter ledge, I shared making that and the recipe, and then I always just pop it in the freezer and then we can have it when we want it. So that's my morning plan in addition to homeschooling, and then we will see. I'm trying to like predict. We'll see what the afternoon holds. I have no idea whether I'll be home or driving around. If I'm going to Leduc, I might find a place to edit a video because I've got a lot of work to do this afternoon. So that would probably be the most beneficial for me, but we'll see.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain. Beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.
The weather actually in Leduc is looking better than it was in Edmonton, so soccer it is. Still some beautiful yellow trees going on here, but a lot of leaves are hitting the ground. I really need to get out with a drone when it's not windy. I think I'm gonna see if I can find a library. Apparently they have one a few minutes away from here, and I can do some editing there. That's my hope. Or maybe I'll find a coffee shop. We'll see what I can find.
There's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all. Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand. As willows align, we lose track of time. Head up high, now we climb. Oh.
All right, today is my oldest's birthday, and it's already after 3 o'clock. What we do for birthdays is whatever it is the birthday person wants to do. They get to choose the meals, they get to choose the activities, and so we're going to be going out for supper a little bit later and having cake. I spent a good portion of time yesterday working on the cake she requested. It's originally a s'mores dessert cup dessert thing. I can leave that linked below the original recipe, and it's supposed to be like individual s'mores. I've made it before, not individual s'mores, so like frozen s'more type things. Made some modifications. I'm making it into a cake, and I'm subtracting the marshmallows, and it's really good. I'm hoping this works out with my modifications because I'm not sure it's going to get it out of the pan properly. Oh well. I made a number of modifications because it was supposed to have graham wafer crumbs for the base, but gluten-free ones can be hard to find. I couldn't find any, so I got some gluten-free chocolate chip cookies, like the hard stale kind, and used those for the base, and hopefully it turns out okay. I'm curious to know what other people do for birthdays. Do you have any kind of like traditions? Normally we would have had cake earlier in the day, but now that we have one kid that's in school, it really messes with my day. Let me just tell you that. It really messes with it. So we're waiting till he gets back, and we'll have that later after we go out to eat. And then the rest of my day is I've been working on a video and whatever else she decides that we're gonna do. It is now the beginning of October, second day, and I have yet to do any writing. Set myself a goal to write 10,000 words this month, which is totally doable in theory, but I would actually need to take some time to write. But that's not happening yet. To be fair, I have been feeling so exhausted. Jared has been sick with like 3 different things back to back to back for the last 3.5 weeks. And I think he's now finally coming out of it, but I've just kind of been doing all the things. And yesterday I just said I wanted to sleep for 24 hours because I was just feeling so exhausted, mentally, physically, just tired. So hopefully he'll be getting better and I can feel a little better and then use some of that energy that I hopefully get back to write. But now I need to finish tomorrow's video. Still cutting it close always with my video editing at this moment. Maybe once things get a little bit more evened out it'll be better, but I'm really considering going down to 1 video on my book channel a week. But we'll see. But I need to finish that so that I can go up for tomorrow. And then I'm gonna get the kiddo from the bus stop in a bit and go do supper. So just a chill day, really. Editing videos is chill, but it takes a lot of time, especially because my video is super long. So I'm gonna stop procrastinating and go finish that.
Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane in the right in a way, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more
Okay, I wanted to do a reading check-in today because I'm kind of reading too many books and I don't know how to stop myself from reading so many books. Also, kind of related, but also kind of not related, feeling very anxious today. A lot of different things to do, not a lot of time to do it. I have a tendency to be the kind of person that cannot say no to things. I think it's because I'm an introvert and I like never want to do anything really, like especially if it involves other people. So because my first instinct is always to say no, I push myself to always say yes or to not say no. And then it ends up creating more anxiety because there's just more stuff going on. And I don't think that I come across as a nervous or anxious person at all. I mean, I could be wrong, maybe I'm fooling myself, but I think I come across as pretty calm, which can be bad because if I looked more anxious, I think I'd get out of things easier. Whereas if you look calm, people are always like, I don't get it. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I have a few different errands to do. Tonight we are doing a like women's get together in my community, which is great. I went to one in August, the first one they had, and there was 6 of us, I think. It was great. There were so many women from different countries. I love the multiculturalness that is my community. I've said that before. So I need to pick up some fruit and make a fruit dip for that. I do a Super Cheaters fruit dip and I just do vanilla yogurt plus some blended strawberries, and that's my fruit dip. So I need to make that, get some fruit before the first grader gets back from school. But I wanted to do a reading update. I'm reading all sorts of books. These are not all of them. I'm reading one on my phone. I'm listening to an audiobook that I'm blanking on the name of right now. The Nightmare Virus. So that is my audiobook right now. I am 63% in. I started this via ebook back in July. Not really getting into it, to be honest. I think I've learned that this author, Nadine Brandeis, I loved her first 2 books that I read and thought she was a favorite author, but I have come to realize through talking with my friend Holly that I think I only love her historical fantasy. That's what the first 2 books that I read by her were. And so I thought I loved her, but then she's written other stuff since then, and it hasn't been for me. This one's science fiction. Her previous one was just straight up YA fantasy. And then she had a science fiction series that I think I got halfway through book 1. So I want to complete it, but I'm not really loving it. And then I'm also reading an ebook on my phone, Jimmy Jo Wright's book that's coming out, or did it come out already? Yesterday? Or Tuesday? It's called Spectres in the Glass House, I think. So I'm reading that on my phone because I have that on here, and when I'm like waiting at the bus stop, I can read it without having to take a book along. I often do take a book to the bus stop, but that's been my bus stop book. And then I'm reading a book on Jared's Kindle because this is on his account and this is my account. So in theory, if I had my own Kindle, I'd be reading the same book, but I don't right now. I'm still reading The Killer's Therapist. I haven't read anything for a few days because the only time I've had a chance to read in the evening has been in the evening. I just said that. The only time I've had a chance to read has been pretty much in the evenings, and this one's not super scary, but I try not to read more I don't know, mystery, suspense, murder type things too late so that they don't disrupt my sleep. Last night before I was going to bed, I was trying to read more of Mrs. Polifex and the Hong Kong Buddha. I got up to page 62. It's a short book, just over 200 pages. I wanted to read more. I just kept falling asleep. So instead of going to sleep, what I tried to do then is I decided to try one of my classic children's books that is part of my DIY literature degree. This is The Rackety Packety House by Frances Hodgson Burnett. It is a picture book, but it has a lot of words, and I thought this would keep me more interested and awake, but I only got up to page 7. So instead of just continuing with books, I keep starting more. If I have a short amount of time and I'm awake, it shouldn't take me long to read this. Okay, and then I'm also reading some English Victorian poetry. I have this anthology. The first poet is Alfred Lord Tennyson. So I read Lady of Shalott on the weekend, and I haven't read any more, but slowly making my way through this. My Victober read is The Moonstone. Technically this was supposed to be my September read, but I only got to page 32. Yeah, I don't know, I'm struggling with classics lately, so what I decided to do is make myself a goal this month to read 100 pages in my classic each week. So I haven't read any of them yet this week. In theory then, though, I should have 20 pages left of this book if I read exactly 100 pages each week. Let's see if I can push myself to do that. And then I'm also rereading Woven by Angie Smith, because I read this as an e-arc years ago when it first was about to come out. And I was reading it at night when I was up with the 4-year-old, who was then like 6 months old, because she never slept. So I was kind of half asleep and a little delirious while reading this, and I thought it was really well done, but I wanted to reread it to see if I was just delirious or if I was actually right. And this is Understanding the Bible as One Seamless Story. She writes it with a sarcastic humor that I know will not be for everyone, but I appreciate it. This is also, she has a Bible study. I think it's like a 12-week Bible study with videos that I kind of want to look into. I was wondering about maybe starting that with some ladies in the neighborhood if anyone would be interested. The only thing is, because we have a lot of multiculturalism, I don't know if the sarcastic humor would translate well, but I love the idea that she shows how the Bible is one big story. So I appreciate that. I think that's all I'm reading really right now, if I remembered correctly. So it's too many books for me, but I feel like I have a reason that I'm reading each of them, so I don't feel like I can just stop reading one of them. And other than the children's book, I don't know, they'll take me a little while to read. So I'm in the middle of a million books, it feels like, which also I think maybe adds to my anxiety, is just so many different plates spinning. And I do this to myself because I said, like, I don't say no to things. And then I always create new projects for myself because I have such a creative brain that's always coming up with all these ideas. Like, while I'm feeling overwhelmed, in the back of my brain, I just keep thinking, like, I want to start a publishing house. I have no time for that right now, but like that idea just keeps swirling around. So I think because of all of this, and I posted my booktube video today, my Thursday video, which is doing terribly. It is 10 out of 10, bottom of the barrel. Interesting that I was talking about this last week. I'm curious to see if it pulls up like my other one did last week. But because I pushed myself to get that video edited and up for today, and now it's doing terribly, I'm thinking I'm just going to post Mondays for the next while on that channel. It will free up some time, some mental space, and I think it's the right move, even though obviously it will result in less views overall, but I think it's the right thing to do. And I don't know what I'm going to post for Monday's video, because the video I wanted to post will take me a while, but I had hoped to start it on Monday, this last Monday, and I haven't yet. So there's no way I'm going to get that done in time. So I have to think of a new video for Monday. Yeah, the brain is just swirling. But I am going to go do my errands and try to check some boxes, figure out Monday's video, do all the things. I would love to hear, what are your guys's, like, if you can pinpoint, what are the sources of anxiety for you? And are you the kind of person that is good at saying no? Do you think you say no too much? Do you have any tips for someone that always wants to say no but never can get themselves to say it? I just feel wrong saying no, and I honestly don't know if that's good or bad. So I'm curious to hear what you guys do. If you have any kind of philosophy or method or anything that works well, let me know.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, golden.
Somehow we've made it to the end of the week, and I still haven't had a chance to go for like a nature walk. I'm hoping to be able to squeeze it in today. We are making a sudden trip to Ikea this morning because I found something that I want for the living room. It's a little bit like a bookshelf slash side table type thing that has been out of stock for a while. I got a notification this morning that they have 16 in stock. So I put it on for click and collect. And then they have that same thing, same style as a coffee table, which we're gonna get as well. And then some chairs. We need some extra chairs. So we're heading to Ikea right away. There might be time this afternoon for a nature walk. I'm worried if we don't do it now, don't go see those autumn leaves now, the days are gonna tick by and the leaves will be done, and I really don't want that. Originally I was like, oh, we have all day tomorrow free. We could just do it tomorrow. And then I realized, no, tomorrow I'm going to a biblical theology workshop, I think it is, seminar type thing in Calgary. So I'm leaving before 6 in the morning, driving the 3 hours for the seminar, and then driving the 3 hours back. So that won't work. And then Sunday we have a info night for our church plant. So that won't work. Yeah, so we'll see. We're gonna go grab the furniture. I'm hoping we can just not put it together right away, maybe, and then do a nature thing after lunch. I don't know if we'll be able to swing it, but I'm hoping so because I can see the leaves are getting to be, some of them are still very yellow and stuff, but some of them are getting to be brown and falling off, and I don't want to miss that. So we'll see. But first, Ikea.
Golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow honey golden.
Here's the results. This ended up being smaller than I thought, but I think that will work well there. I might eventually turn it around, but right now that's hiding my highlighters and pens and stuff. So we got this like little side table, and then the matching coffee table. I want to get a rug for here for winter, so it's not like the same color on the same color. And then we got new curtains for winter. More hemming to be done, my not favorite. That one doesn't need to be hemmed. They probably need to be ironed yet, but not today. Okay, I'm gonna close things off here. Ikea was relatively successful. A few tweaks that I need to do. Ironing, which I will put off for a while. I know it's not gonna happen this weekend, but it'll happen. And then this weekend, like I said, is busy. So got that coming up. I'm looking forward to all the stuff though. It's busy in a good way. So thanks for joining me for another week. Hopefully next week I can go out and take advantage of some of these beautiful yellow leaves before they're all gone. They're still actually, looking out the window, there's still lots of green trees. I'm just not sure if they're all gonna turn nicely or if they're just gonna go from green to like off the tree. Hopefully we can go for like a walk in the nice green leaves. I really want to feed the chickadees too. That's always fun, but I don't really need leaves for that. So we'll see if that goes hand in hand or not. But thanks for joining me. I appreciate each of you for being here.